Welcome back to the Nullified Take channel, where we've got the TNT takes for you on the Challenge Australia. I'm joined here by someone who is a big cyclone in the house. Some call her Cyclone Sorrel. Sorrel, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
It's so great to finally meet you after seeing you on our screens. What was it like being on this crazy show called The Challenge? Did you know what you were getting yourself into?
Dude, it was heavy duty, right? It was extreme. And I really didn't know, I wasn't prepared for that. Not just for the challenges itself, but for the manipulative snakes that I had with me.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, one of the big questions I think I have to ask, and I'm sure all the fans would like to know, you obviously went in there with Grant, who's a friend of your hubby. Is he still welcome at the house?
I don't think we'll be having him for dinner anytime soon. No, God, no. My partner's ticked off. He's like, I can't. Well, actually, he didn't say he can't. He did kind of pre-warn me, like after Grant had promised that. He was like, "Do you know what? I'll bet you any money he's still dodgy." He goes, "Don't forget, I was with him on Love Island, and that's exactly what he did to me." And he was right. Should have listened to him.
Yeah. So you obviously went in there, you knew Grant, and you also had some other people that you gravitated towards, which were the likes of Emily, Jack, David. How did that friendship sort of develop? Were those people that you knew before the game? Were you surprised to see them then that you were sort of gravitating towards them?
Well, so David and Emily, I never met them before. That was just kind of like after being on the challenge. But Jack and I, we actually have like a mutual friend together. And I know we weren't supposed to say, but we kind of said, "Oh, we're going to be in the challenge," And then I saw him at the airport, and I kind of latched onto him, because it's like at least one friend you'd have, and I met David and Emily through him.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously you and Jack, you end up working together early on and also being targeted early on. What does it feel like to go onto a show such as this where you know you need to try and stay in the game, and as soon as you sort of are a target, potentially that target's going to continue to come back to you? What did it feel like knowing that you were singled out so early on?
Dude, I was pissed off. I was so angry, and it's just like it just shocked me because you would have them be so fake and friendly to your face, and then next second, within 20 minutes of running up and down their stairs, they screwed me over. So after that, I was out for revenge. I was out for blood.
Now, you came from a completely different show. I've never watched Married at First Sight, believe it or not. I know it's a massive show in Australia. I've never watched it personally. Was there anything that you could transfer from that show into the challenge that could sort of transfer into this game? Or was it really learning from scratch how to play this new crazy game?
Well, I would say a lot of the females on my show, Married at First Sight, were manipulative, conniving, and lawyers. So I probably should have brought that along on the challenge. And if you'd watched the show, you'd agree with me. They really were.
No, fair enough, fair enough. Now, obviously, you've had the full experience because you won dailies, you won a daily, and you've been in the eliminations twice. So you really have that full experience of having done a little bit of everything. Can you talk to us a little bit about what the difference is and how you feel when you go into these daily challenges versus eliminations? What does it feel like to be a competitor and actually participating in it?
Well, I found like because they don't like trust me, they do not tell you what you're gonna do for the challenge. And at times they even would be on the bus and they'd even close the curtains just so we couldn't see. So I think a lot of it was dreading what you'd have to do. And then being on elimination, you kind of like, and I've been up for that, it's the worst feeling. You're just like, because you just want to stay, you just want to win. And it's just like, again, you don't know what Bryony's gonna throw out at you and what challenge, whether it's gonna be a challenge or a puzzle. Yeah, and I'm not a person that takes well to surprises. I'll probably, yeah, I'll be like, ah.
So obviously having that control not there, and how much time did you have to prepare for the show? Like how far in advance did you know that you were going to go onto the challenge, and did you do anything in preparation to go onto the show?
I would honestly say I feel like other people like full on trained it hard up and watch like several series. I felt terrible when everyone was saying, "Yeah, I watched so many shows. I trained this much." I was like, "Oh shit, someone didn't do their homework." Yeah, so we all probably got to know around about 1 month. So you probably get a month into it. But I was competing against boxers, Olympians, Instagram models that would just train constantly. So that 1 month wasn't going to help me out.
Yeah, like, I mean, what was it like going up against these, some of them professional athletes? Who were you most intimidated by, if you were intimidated by anybody sort of going into an elimination potentially against them, or you tried to stay on their good side in the game?
Well, believe me when I say Emily is a gun. She is like a weapon. Emily and Sugar, but I found like when I would watch them, I found like, I don't know, for me, just thinking, I just thought, yeah, Emily was just something else. The way she trained, her motivation. I just like, as soon as I saw her, I go, yeah, great, I've got a great chance. And what can I do? I was on maths, for God's sakes. All I did was chat.
Well, sometimes you can chat yourself out of trouble, or you can chat yourself into trouble. It just depends on what you wanted to use that superpower for, right?
Or I could chat myself into drama, which is basically what happened.
Hey, I don't complain. It made for great TV and really entertaining to watch. But, while you were out there competing with these different players, we saw you obviously gravitate, like I said, to some of those players that we've already seen on the screen, like Emily, Jack, and David. Who else did you also have a really good relationship that maybe just didn't make it to the screen? Were there other people that you also really enjoyed spending time with?
Oh, Audrey was there, Audrey and Susan too. But a lot of them, like, if I had to be honest, they all hated me. I can see why.
So you mentioned Audrey, and you and Audrey had a massive blow up on night one. So did you guys make up after that and become friends?
Yeah, they didn't show it. So yeah, I found that I was actually in the wrong. But as crazy as I go, I'm not one person that like I can't apologize when I need to. So I was in the wrong, and I said sorry to her, and we literally made up that night.
Oh, that's great. And how did you sort of feel about the way that the show was structured with the algorithm giving you random pairs every single round? What was the feeling in the house about this algorithm?
Look, I think it was just depending on who you got. Like, I think if people got me, they would have been devastated. I don't know why. I'm so nice. But if they got, like, say for example, Emily or Sugar within the boys, if they got, the Ninja Warrior Troy, they'd be cheering because, like a lot of people think it's always strength. But I will say, when it comes to puzzles, I think Connor was the smart one. As much as I think he's a weasel, I will give him that.
Yeah. And can you explain a little bit why this perception is out there that everybody dislikes Connor so much? Because it feels like every episode he just gets bagged on, and the show is not really showing clearly why they're doing that.
Yeah, no. Because, yeah, unfortunately, it's not showing too much, but like there was like cut off arguments, and like there was even a time where he pissed me off because he basically threw me under the bus, and he's manipulative, conniving, like and to be cheeky about it too, like as David was saying, he's weaseled himself out of elimination, like people knew it, but somehow the guy was getting out of it. So yeah, that's the thing that you're not seeing. He gets worse from what I've heard.
Oh, well, looking forward to seeing what that's like. So obviously yourself and Connor ended up being the winning pair when you did the daily together. So even though you maybe didn't agree with him on a lot of things, it seemed like your partnership worked really well. Why do you feel like you worked so well with Connor, and why were you able to pull off that win?
It's because, like I said, it really depends on the challenge they're going to give you. So I may have not been like, muscles or strength wise or anything, but I think Connor and we were more brains. So that time, like, let's be honest, a lot of those people didn't even know how to do plain maths. So that gave us the upper hand. So yeah, it really depends on the activity you're going to do.
Yeah, fair enough. Who didn't you get partnered with that you would have loved to have been partnered with in the game because you thought they would just be brilliant to work with?
Grat, I'm lying. Let me think. To be honest, no. Like, I feel like I've had beef with all those boys. So no. The ones I got partnered up with, I'm happy with that.
All right. So you feel like you left at the right time before you had to fake it with another partner that you didn't want to work with.
Imagine me and Grant on a challenge together. We would have been pushing each other off the cliff.
Yeah, I don't know why the algorithm didn't work on the fans' side and give you guys a pairing, because that would have been entertaining TV to watch.
I think they knew we just hated each other too much. We probably
Wanna-
would have just said, we forfeit, we're going off for elimination now.
Now, since you've been on the show, have you gone and watched any other challenge seasons? Have you become a fan of the show as a whole? And would you consider going back and doing this again if the opportunity came back and the Challenge Australia season 2 came around?
Okay, I would definitely go back if this time they give me like 4 months notice so I can train it up a bit more. Definitely. I think I really do need to focus on my strength. But yeah, my partner and I watched a bit of the US version, and I have to say, like, their drama, I love it. I live for the drama. It follows me around everywhere. I am drama, but it makes life so much more exciting.
What about your partner? Do you think he would ever want to do something like this as well? Would he be interested in something like the challenge?
Well, they were originally asking my partner, so because he was on Love Island, yeah. So and then they went with the Cyclone. So there you go. So he was. If there's a season 2, hopefully he's the one they pick
Yeah, fair enough.
because he would do it.
Yeah, and well, by the sounds of it, he probably would do pretty well as well. It'll be interesting to see him and Grant in the same season after he dogged you on this last season.
They'll both just get eliminated for punching on.
Now, you said yesterday that you were, you're a mouthful of gossip. Yeah, so I was wondering if you could dish some gossip to us here by answering a few questions. Who was the biggest flirt in the house?
Biggest flirt would be, oh God, I think Conrad, because he
All
didn't
right.
just flirt with Megan. I don't know if they'll air it, but he also flirted with Emily. There's a little
Interesting.
for you, yeah.
Okay, interesting. And who was the person in the house who didn't clean up after themselves? Who was the messiest to live with?
Okay, this would be the boys upstairs. Like, so I would walk past, and even producers would actually be like, when they go, "Can you please clean your room?" Because it was so messy. But apparently, it was Johnny, Ryan, and Grant. But that just tells you. I mean, Grant was in there, pigsty.
Poor Jessica, who had to live with them, right?
I don't know. She probably got used to the stench.
All right. Who was the biggest snake? I think I know already, but who was the biggest snake in the house that you would never trust?
There's a few. We have time. I would say Billy did, but he got out early. Connor, Grant, and who else? I wouldn't trust Kieran either.
Interesting. All right. And were you aware that that Bachelor Alliance was sort of forming there, and that they were working against the house? And
Yeah.
why did you not take a shot at them directly when you went for Grant and Kiki instead?
Well, I think that is kind of taking a shot because Kiki was from the Bachelor.
Fair
I
enough.
think, to be honest, my vengeance was more towards Grant, so played that way.
And if you had an opportunity to win power again, like, where would the next shot have gone? Would you have taken it straight back at him again, or would you have gone somewhere else?
I would have definitely gone for Connor. Yeah, I've already had my shot with Grant. It's not interesting. Let's do someone new.
Fair enough. Hey, Sorrel, it's been so great talking to you. Let people know that are listening to the podcast, where can they find you? What are you up to next? Where can they follow you?
So you can follow me on my Instagram. It's Cyrell Jimenez Paul, something like that. I don't even know my own Instagram account. But yeah, it's on Instagram, guys. It's the only Cyrell. And just stay tuned. Who knows? I never say never to anything, so you never know. I might see me again shortly.
Yeah, well, I'll make sure to add links in the description below on the video as well, and everywhere I post this. Sorrel, it's been great talking to you. All the best of luck with the rest of the interviews for the day, and hopefully we see you back on our TV screen soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.